Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Football Show. We're into Friday. Wow, wasn't that week flowing? I'm Mal Lee, your host for this evening, and we're joined by super guest
Paul Cochran.
Welcome to the show, especially if you're viewing it on YouTube. TXTL TV from the touchlands. From the touchlands means that one day we're going to be back out in grassroots football. We just don't know when. We don't know the rules, the regulations, when it's going to happen. But I think it's going to happen, isn't it, Paul?
Well, who knows? It seems to be dragging on now, doesn't it?
Well, what I'm seeing, I was looking all over the place, and I know Grassroots Football UK, Paul Caitney's been putting up there, putting comedy sketches up, waiting, when to start, and we just don't know. But we're going to start sometime, and we're looking forward to it, because we can get back out and about on the touchlands. Social distancing is the key. So I don't know how we're going to do all this, we're not too sure. It must be hard for the FA, to be honest, because and the Premier League, whoever's doing it all, to social distance all the spectators.
Well, any organisation, especially FIFA, the FA being so big, they obviously have to take on the government guidelines, otherwise they'll be slapped on their wrist by not following these rules. So yeah, everyone needs to do their part. When we do get back out on those touchlines, is to make sure we are social distancing. Again, it comes down to maybe self-policing, doing it ourselves, but also being using our heads and being courteous of each other.
Well, I saw a Scottish game the other day on TV. Scottish game, it was from, where am I going? I think it was PSG. Scotland. I don't know why I got Scotland in my head here. But they had 5,000 in a friendly, just coming back. It was great to see spectators, but I don't know how France are doing it and what we're going to do to follow suit. No, we've got to let some fans in soon, and I was wondering whether the FA might say Wembley Stadium massive, maybe 1,000 fans from each, maybe 2,000 fans. I don't know, because these grounds are pretty big and the roads are pretty big, where they're looking at 50, 60, 100,000 at Wembley, surely.
Well, I seen a comment on Facebook the other day from a Liverpool fan whose words came up with an idea. Why didn't you get all the season ticket holders back in and then just social distance them all around the ground? No away fans, just season ticket holders. They've paid their money, they should be at the games. Yeah. And from what he said, I don't know the numbers myself, but from what he was saying is the numbers would work out to have the 2 metre distance, 2-3 chairs in between every fan, and you stay in your seat all game, half time you stay in your seat, and then you get ushered out row by row at the end.
Well, I think
don't know if that's going to work, but it's an idea.
Plus the masks, because surely if they're in the shops and this is outside though, really, isn't it? It's in the fresh air. I don't know how it's going to work, because you know yourself, fans will go in there, those masks will come off, they can't sing in them, they just want to support their team, and hey ho, the masks have gone, and I know Boris has made them mandatory apparently in shops.
By the end of the month,
24th, I think it is. 24th, yeah. The same as grassroots football. It's supposed to be making a comeback. But I think what they're going to turn around and say, my honest opinion is, yeah, let's have some friendly games. Because I don't think as many parents will go. They'll start off probably at small side, because as the games, as the kids develop and get older, I've noticed, and I think you've noticed yourself, parents dwindle away. They don't come to watch the kids because they're not in. Well, have they ever made it? No, they're not going to make it, because when they're small sided, the kids have got a chance. They're all superstars. The mums and dads and grandparents believe that their child is going to be the next Steven Gerrard, Wayne Rooney, whoever it may be, whoever's your favourite footballer, that's who those kids are going to be. And then it suddenly dawns on them that it's very, very hard to get into a Premier League team or a professional footballer.
Yeah, if you don't get scouted at the early age, your chances sort of half, don't they?
Very few and far between chances, I'll guarantee you that. But there's many agents out there, and I talk to many agents as well, and saying, do people really know how hard it is to become a professional footballer? Well, I think we're all aware of that. And when new parents come into the game, they don't know the laws and the rules about football, do they? Because you see the coaches looking back and thinking to themselves, I think I should have had a talk to you before you come up and watch these kids. Because we still have some parents who run onto a pitch. I still see it today. I'm sure there's loads of coaches nodding out there, and other parents who are saying, yeah, mum's running on the pitch to see how little Tommy or little Sarah is, because they're crying, they've got a sore foot, and they just don't explain to them that you stay on the touchlines. The coaches are all first aiders, should be, DBS and what we're talking about. We've got a couple of topics that we're going to talk about here while we're on grassroots football, because we'll go into one here, and there's a bit of an appeal that you've got ahead of you there, Paul, that we'll go on to in a minute, but we'll just go on to well, the NSPCC, and that's the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Now, child protection in sport is vital. This is my honest opinion, because all these cases that we heard before COVID-19 took over, we don't want people to drop their guard. We still want people to be aware that there's predators out there, and the children, are they really, really safe? So we want to join up with the NSPCC, because as I say, they're sending out all the messages. Children need to be protected online. Children need to be protected in the sports, in any sport, not just football. So it's a very, very important topic. We've got to make the parents, the mums, the dads, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, and especially the coaches and the managers aware. They're carrying the DBS check. They're carrying the safeguarding, which I'm proud to put on there, because...
So I want to say a belated congratulations for winning the safeguarding stars from the NSPCC.
Well, there you go. And it makes me proud. I think it should be publicising that a lot more.
Well, obviously the work that we do, where it's grassroots football, and grassroots is the young children, so it's obviously to have recognition from the NSPCC is obviously a feather in your cap, and Don't Cross the Line's cap, to say, look, we are out here, we're doing the work, and we're trying to protect not only the referees with the respect campaigners, we're here for the children, as parents are, we're here to make sure that they're safe.
Well, as you said, you hit the nail on the head, not just the referees, because referees as well, they're starting from 14 years of age, and you know what it's like, verbal abuse, the bullying towards a referee. That won't go away. That was a massive virus. We've had COVID-19, but the virus that we've got on the touchlines will stay, because there's parents out there rearing to go, rearing to shout, and unfortunately that referee in the centre may become a real target, because if they're all allowed back, but maybe the masks might work, I'm not too sure, maybe the referees are going, thumbs up.
A muffled shout instead.
Well, if you give them duct tape as well and put it underneath, no one will see that, so at least it'll keep them all nice and quiet, and safeguard the referees as well. But we're saying, this is what it's all about. It's important in grassroots football that we don't drop the guard, that we look towards the kids, their safety first. Coaches and managers, the county FAs, I don't know what's going to be happening, because they've got a lot to deal with when grassroots football comes back, because social distancing, the masks, you name it, the hygiene.
Go along with the masks. I went into a shop the other day. I won't name it because I'm not giving out publicity. But I was made to wear a mask. But I took my young son in, and he wasn't made to wear a mask because he was under a certain age. So obviously with grassroots football, if you've got kids under a certain age, whether that's 5 or 6, who don't understand...
I think it's up to 11 in the UK and 5 upwards in Scotland. But Scotland is mandatory now, so if you go to Scotland now, you've got to wear a mask as soon as you cross the border. It's a mask all the time there. I don't think it's just shops. I think it's everywhere you go, to be honest.
Yeah, because there's things that I've read up on is you shouldn't cover an infant's face, an infant, maybe toddler 3 upwards, who doesn't have the understanding and capacity to be able to deal with, be able to take it off, or understand that they're able to take it off. So there needs to be maybe a case-by-case basis, and not just, you see someone not wearing a mask, you jump on them and go, why aren't you wearing a mask? You don't know why. You need to...
I think the government should step in and use common sense now and say, if you're found to attack a person who's not wearing a mask, because they might have one of these letters who turn around and say they can't afford it. An
exemption card, isn't it?
Well, because people have illnesses, and they're going to panic. They're going to, I'm not going out and getting threatened. I think common sense prevails, folks. So remember, out there, if you don't wear a mask on there, don't be picking on people. There may be a massive reason behind that.
You could have asthma.
Could have asthma.
There's loads of reasons why you should
be exempt.
Can't be using a mask.
So we want to be on the aware. But as we say, we go back to the NSPCC, child protection, and I'd just like to give a couple of numbers out, because if you are an adult and you have any concerns about a child, then the NSPCC child protection, you can call them on 0808 11 11, 0808 11 11, and they offer help for young people as well. So they have their child line, and that is on 0800 11 11. 0800 11 11. And if you'd like to donate for a good cause, obviously the NSPCC ball, you know yourself, absolutely magical, or fundraise for them, you can call them personally on 020 7825 2505. But what I love about the motto, where they put all this on their website, they come up with a lovely motto there, and it says, play sport, stay safe, enjoy and achieve.
Fantastic.
A great message to all the coaches out there, great message to the parents. Take it on board, the NSPCC, Child Protection in Sport. We need you to follow it when the guidance comes back in COVID-19 and we're all following social distancing. We want everyone to sing off the same song sheet and all be the team that we were before COVID-19 broke down, because there was no exempt on postcodes. People come together. Now we are seeing a separation again. People starting to argue. People starting to come back into society. We've got a fight on our hands, and we can see that that is coming ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, you've got something to say to us as well. I've got a great friend out there, River Juniors, Steve Sully, and he was in touch with me a couple of days ago, asking for a little bit of support, and it was about one of their players from Kirby. Paul, can you give us some details on him?
Yeah, it's a GoFundMe page for Tom Broadfoot fundraiser, and they're looking to raise money. I'll just read the caption because I think it sums it up very nicely. It's Lennon Scully and Stephen Sullivan have organised the fundraiser, and it has a picture of Tom, and it says, we've been mates with Tom's dad, Ian, for a long time. Tom is only 13 years old, and Tom has been diagnosed with and is currently undergoing treatment for lymphoma, which is obviously, well, obviously it's not obvious at all, but it's a blood cancer, which obviously isn't very nice for someone so young. This is something that we'd like to take. This is something that would take its toll physically and mentally on anyone, let alone a 13-year-old boy. So as we can see there, it's quite a touching story there of a young lad.
I think when I saw a post the other day that Steve put on there, I think it was in the Liverpool Echo, and it did say the child now, the voice is breaking.
Yeah.
That's when they discovered it. They thought, hang on, there's something.
His voice is breaking when it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is how they discovered it. Well, Steve has asked us, you know, for the little appeal, and he put on a figure, didn't he, just for £1.
Yeah.
And it was magical because when he put this figure on GoFundMe page, I think they've got there. Paul,
yeah, it's a GoFundMe page there, yeah.
Yeah, and if you went on River Juniors, I'm sure you'll find out there's loads and loads of information on that one. But have a look at Steve Sullivan, and he'll be on Facebook. And they're trying to raise as much money as they can now. What's the figure that they got, Paul? Just for putting £1 on GoFundMe?
Yeah, it's been up for about 10 days now, and they've got £3,894 raised, which is quite a good amount in such a short time. But I'm sure we can do better. I'm sure there are people out there who will put their hands in their pockets.
Well, I'm going to donate as well, so there you go, because I know Steve's put it on to me for donation. I know what Steve's like.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure, because if you're going, well, I knew you'd do that. So if we all donate and make this world a better place. And it was Tom Broadfoot, did you say?
Tom Broadfoot, yeah. BROAD Foot fundraiser. So if you're looking for it on the GoFundMe page, Tom Broadfoot fundraiser is what it's under.
And you know, good luck and the best wishes to everyone who's helping out there, especially Steve Sully, because he helps me out a lot. And you may have seen young commentators. Steve brings all the youngsters there to help us with his lads and lasses. You know, he's brilliant, and he'll jump into anyone to help. But I don't want you to get older, Steve, and say, go and do this for me. He's raising funds, and he's doing it for a great cause. And I think he's done a bike ride the other day, and no doubt still get in touch with me, and I'll give you the figure, what he's raised. But I'm sure he's going to do a lot more, because he's a top man, and I'm sure you people out there, good-hearted, but just dig your hands in the pocket and go to the GoFundMe page and put your £1 in, put your £2 in, put your £20 in, and just help out a great cause. But we'll have a few appeals, no doubt, coming on the Grassroots show over the next few weeks as well as we're also getting our guests in regarding the Grassroots football show that we do, the Weekender show, and that's going to come back because as we say, it won't be long before grassroots football's back. We've done a nice, a little appeal, but it's not an appeal for NSPCC. We've done it there for GoFundMe page, and I'm sure we can all help out on that one. Because grassroots is returning very, very soon, folks. So please, let us know your stories. Let us know, not just fundraisers, not just charities, because we want your stories in football, don't we? What you've been doing through COVID-19, what you're expecting to do. Is your team going to fold? Has your team already folded? Were you a referee? Was a referee? I'm not doing it anymore. I've just got fed up with it. I'm bored. We need to hear all those stories, don't we? And if you've got any donations or you want any more info on that, you can simply just email mal@don'textraline.com. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. We can help out, and we want you to get into us and start supporting the likes of us, DXTL TV, Grassroots Football Show, the Weekender Show, because we'll be out and about with our microphones, won't we, Paul?
You'll be yeah, hopefully when this all ends, we can get back out.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to, and obviously we'll social distance as well. And everyone who's going to do an interview, I don't know how far the mic's going to be held now.
I'll have to get a stick and sellotape it to it.
Do you know what? They used to be £20 or something like that. I think they're £300 now, because people are going to get on, they jump on the bandwagon. Like all these masks all turning out. Millionaires made out of making masks, and I'm going to decide to make grassroots football teams masks. So get in touch with me if you want to know your mask as well. This is what we're doing, isn't it? Anyway, we're looking forward to a little bit of grassroots football coming back into it. But we've got something to say, haven't we, Paul, about being Liverpoolians. We'll only talk about Liverpool on this show, Season Champions 2020. But, you know, Man City look a little bit as if they're eager for everything at the moment, and they've just got all of this. We won't go into politics about that. We won't, because we'll get slated. We know that, because we know we've got a lot of Manchester supporters as well who are supporting us with Don't Cross the Line, the Respect campaign, and the work that we do. But they seem to be a massive squad, don't they? I think when I watched their game the other night, it was they had 9 on the bench and made 5 changes, and you looked at that bench and going, dear me, what a team they could put out here, you know. Bournemouth, they give them a great fight, and then we come to Liverpool with Arsenal, and I've never seen so much possession of one team, and the mistakes just created 2 goals, and I think Arsenal on Saturday play Man City in the FA Cup. I can just see a one-sided game there, my honest opinion.
Yeah, well, obviously for us playing against Arsenal, I think they gave it their all when they went 2-0 down. It's like, well, we've already won anyway.
Yeah.
And the heart went from it. But yeah, Man City obviously and Arsenal played the FA Cup, but they're obviously still playing for stuff. They've obviously still got things to win. I think at the minute our season's over. Sadly to say. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping our season's just starting, and I hope that's in the players now, and you say, do you know what, we're really going to go hell for leather, and we're going to really put a good fight up. But I can see a few teams that have improved as the season's gone on now. Every team has a go, don't they? You know, if all these teams are starting to improve when we played them, we were brilliant, we were outstanding, now our players seemed... But I think, my honest opinion, I think, because I'm bored stiff, and I must admit, watching the games without the fans, and I hear the crowd, I know it's false, but how would those players feel with no crowd there as well? It doesn't lift them, does it?
Especially from an Anfield perspective, if you have your fans there, it gives so much more of a boost. So playing in empty stadiums just isn't the same. It'll never be the same. I heard a commentator say the other day, oh, they're getting used to it now. You know, we've been doing a few games now, they should be used to it by now. I don't think that it's something you can ever get used to, because you know yourselves, when you're kicking a ball around the park and it's empty, it's empty.
Yeah.
It's like a training match for them, really. You know, when at Melwood kicking a ball around, there's no one there watching.
Yeah.
So when you have those fans, it creates that atmosphere and the culture that all these stadiums have. So it's something that's definitely lost from the games, and you maybe need to get them back in slowly but surely. A couple of fans here and there cheering away, singing.
Well, let's hope they let a couple of fans in for the celebrations against Chelsea, because we're getting the
they've took seats up, haven't they, in the Kop end, and they're building a big stand.
Oh, you never know.
So looks like they're going to have some big celebration.
Watch this space, folks.
Yeah.
So we can all pretend that we're holding the league, the Premier League up, the trophy. That's what we want. There's loads of us out there. And thanks for all the congratulations again Mull of Manchester.
We're just waiting for Henderson to do his tippy toes.
He'll do that. Anyway, Paul, it's been great to have you in as a guest again. We'll be back again tomorrow with the Grassroots Weekend, the show. So myself, Matt Lane, all the team here, the Grassroots Show, Don't Cross the Line, Respect Programme, and
Paul Cochran.
We'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. In the meantime, put your feet up, rest and relax. Be safe.